Hi, welcome to another episode of the Cat Lady Podcast. My name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2 T's, C-A-T-T, craft all the things. It is episode 84, December 4th, 2018, so welcome. If you're new, thanks for checking me out. I am a fiber podcast, knitting, spinning, but also do other crafty things as well, sewing. I don't have time for everything at one time, so sometimes it kind of comes and goes on what I'm working on, but right now I'm primarily knitting, so there'll be pretty much all knitting today. I have one other DIY project to share, but so welcome, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back as usual, and I appreciate you all very much. If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe and like the video. So there's my spiel. You can find me on the internet as the Cat Lady on Instagram. I have a Cat Lady Podcast group on Facebook. There's also a Ravelry group, the Cat Lady Podcast, and I am Crafty Cat Lady on YouTube. So check me out everywhere. I'm huge on Instagram. Is kind of my place. I post a lot of things, and then that filters to Facebook. And then all the show notes are on Ravelry. So my Ravelry is very up to date as far as all my projects as well. So if you have any questions on what I do, if I forget to tell you a yarn or whatever, needle size, any kind of information on my projects, they are all on Ravelry. We are having a holiday craft along in my Ravelry group. So if you are making crafts or for the holidays, either some like gifts or decor, anything that's kind of holiday related, you can head over to Ravelry and post in the finished objects thread. There's also a chatter thread to chit chat about your stuff, but the finished objects thread is where I will draw a prize. And do I have my prize here? I meant to grab it. Yes, I do. Pardon me for one moment. Come on out, prize. Okay. So the prize I have put together for my giveaway is this bag, which I made. So it's just a pretty like rose pattern, little flower inside. I'm kind of jealous. I kind of want to keep this bag. Actually, I might have made 2 of these, so I might have one for me somewhere. And then the matching, I know I have 2 DPN holders, so I might have another bag, but I'm not sure. But matching DPN cozy, which I also use for my circular projects sometimes too. So if you have a set of circulars that the project kind of hangs on the cord, you can kind of stick them in and snap it in like that too, depending on how big and bulky it is, but works for the circulars as well. And then I have 2 skeins of yarn that were donated to me for the podcast quite some time ago, so it's perfect to use for a giveaway. It's Plymouth yarn, Happy Feet, superwash merino nylon, so 250 gram skeins. Colorway 10. So, but it's a pretty like blue. There's burgundy, some green. It's very pretty. There you go. That's pretty good. Pops of light blue, but yeah, you can really see the green and the burgundy and the blue. It's almost kind of Christmassy. It's almost like wintry Christmassy. So you got like the blues of the winter, and then you got the red and the green, kind of up Christmas. So it's just pretty good. The bag's obviously not. That's like spring, but yeah. So this will make a nice shawl or pair of socks. So it's 100 grams total. Oh, it's falling apart. So that will be, so I will draw a winner probably in January, because the thread's open till the end of the year. Just because, you know, some people do their holiday celebrations a little bit later, or, you know, it's holiday. So New Year's is a holiday, Kwanzaa is a holiday, so any kind of holiday. So I'm keeping it open until the end of the year, and then I will do the drawing when I record in January. So, come on. Alright, so that is the prize. And if anyone has any other prizes they'd like to donate, please let me know. I can draw more prizes. So the thread has a nice amount of finished objects in there, so keep them coming. So that's it for podcast news. So knitting. I'm trying to remember, did I show off the sweater? I don't think I did. No, I had just the neckline to do. So the sweater is finished. To find that, I'll show that up in a minute. I have a lot of finished objects today, so that's pretty exciting. Oh, I'll talk about it in a minute. Okay. I have a lot of finished objects today. So anyway, so the sweater, the seclude that I've made for my mother, is officially finished and washed and dried, and so there's the neck. So that was pretty much all that was left. So here she is. Finished sweater. Of course, every time you fold it up, you get little weird creases in there, so it's never gonna look perfect. But I took a few pictures of it, put it on Ravelry. Everything's up to date there, so yeah, I just need to find a box for that, wrap it up, and that is good to go. I tried it on, it looks good. So that is the Seclude by Alicia Plummer. It was in Karen Simply Soft in Gray Heather and Charcoal Heather, size 5 and 7 needles, I believe. 7 for the body, 5 for the ribbing and the neckline. Super easy pattern, super fun. I'm gonna make it again. So, if you're new, that is a matching sweater to mine, so I made one for myself. My mom liked it, I made one for her. And I have yarn to make another one for, well, I have yarn to make 2 more for me actually, all in the Karen Simply Soft because it's cheap, it's soft, it's washable, and why not? The next project that I have finished, I showed off a pair of my Maine Morning Mitts last time, and now I have 2 pairs of Maine Morning Mitts finished in the aubergine colorway of Premier Yarns Everyday Worsted. Again, super soft and easy care. You know, these are gifts, so I want them to be easy to use. So they've been washed and dried, and I had a little issue. So I threw them in the wash with a bunch of other stuff, and I happened to throw them in with some of these kind of heavy terry towels that were gray, and they tend to pill a little bit. So yeah, I had like little gray specks like everywhere, so I had to blow out my cleaner and clean them up a bit, but they're good now. But yeah, kind of freaked out for a minute there. The next is, okay, those are the Maine Morning Mitts by Claire Parks. Those were made on size 7 double point, or no, size 7 circulars. I had the issue with making one of them in double points. Last week I talked about that the double points, my gauge, or the bamboo, my gauge was a lot larger. So next, oh shoot, did I forget those? Okay, I forgot something. I'll skip it and I'll enter it in later. The next one I have is the Challenger hat, which you guys never even saw as a whip because I started it on Friday. I finished it on Sunday. So it was a quick and easy knit. It is a gift for my great uncle. So it is a 2x2 ribbed hat. That's it. Super squishy. It's nice and stretchy, you know, it's for a man's head, so it's a little bit, I mean, it fits me, but it's not form-fitting. This was the same hat I made for my husband last Christmas, and he really likes it. I made his on black, which was terrible. So this one was a lot easier in the white because, I don't know, when you're knitting at night and it's black yarn and it was fine, but it was just kind of miserable. So this one was a lot easier. And this is in the Red Heart Eco Ways yarn, which again, that's just stash I had. And he has, my great uncle, he's 82. He has a cream colored scarf that he wears all the time that he says my grandmother knit him. So my grandmother was a knitter, which I didn't realize when I was a kid that she was a knitter. And actually, one day I'll pull out the big blanket I have that she made me. But apparently he has that scarf that she made him a long time ago, and he still wears it all the time. So I thought, okay, well, now we have a matching cream colored hat that I knit for him, so hopefully he likes that. And this is the Challenger hat by Sarah Webster. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I made some modifications. Because the original hat's just like no rib or no cuff. So but I modified it to make it a cuff hat because that's what my husband liked, and so I thought, why not? So it's nice. This was made with size 7 DPNs. No, size 8 DPNs. Next up, I never showed this one as a whip either. This one's kind of hard to show off, but I purchased this Jazz Couture yarn back in, I think October, or it might have been September. Yeah, I think I might have purchased it in September. When I was going to hand knit, like a finger knit, I don't know how you want to explain it, but basically like just manipulating the strands with your hands. So you're not using needles of any sort. And I started that and I didn't like it. So then I went to the arm knitting So I arm knit the blanket. It's supposed to kind of replicate one of those big floofy roving blankets, which are terrible, so don't ever do those. They look awesome, they're probably cozy, but they're just like a shedding nightmare, and like I just can't even imagine. So, and they, oh no, I just can't imagine. So this is sort of a replica of that in this weird yarn that's like a mesh tube almost. So I'll kind of hold it up, show it off there. So it's just this kind of thick, chunky blanket that I did arm knitting. It's pretty big. It's pretty cozy. So it's like 60 inches by 36. Yeah, so it's a little bit narrow, but you know, again, because I was working on my arm, if I could fit more stitches up there, I would have, but I could only fit 20 stitches on my arm, so. But this will be, it's nice and long, so I mean, it'll be good for sitting on the couch and kind of just throwing over me. Or it's kind of can wrap around my shoulders too, but I don't want to really manipulate it too much right now because it's kind of all nice and folded and I don't have a lot of space right here. But I already knew how to arm knit, but I kind of got the yarn recommendation off of a YouTube video. Was arm knit a blanket in an hour with Simply Maggie, I think it was. Again, it's posted in Ravelry. It is a pattern listed in Ravelry, so and you know, it was just a silly fun project. And like there's 9 balls of yarn here, I think, and you know, to join them I just literally tied them in knots because that's what she recommended, and again, I was just making this for fun. I really can't think of any other way to join this kind of yarn. I mean, besides sewing it together, which I didn't really want to. It's supposed to be knit a blanket in an hour. This took me way longer than an hour considering I started in September and I just finished it yesterday. But that's because it just kind of hung out in the spare bedroom and it sat on a curtain rod, and I'd pick it up, do a couple rows, and then like, okay, I'm done, and I'd put it down. So it probably took me longer than an hour. So that's it. Okay, so let's see. Scrappy yarn blanket. So I have, you know what, okay. I'm doing my scrappy yarn blanket for Advent. Oops, I gotta put that in. And it is the 4th of December, but I have not done my blanket square for today, so I have 3 to show off for the first 3 days of December. So I got that square, and that square, and that square. And I am adding width to my blanket. So originally I designed the number of rows, or the length of squares based on a queen size, and not to overlap the edges like full queen size blanket, but more of a queen size throw, so it would kind of cover the top of the bed. Well, we are guaranteed by the time this thing ever gets done, if it ever gets done, to have a king size bed by then. So I decided to, like, I think I'm 7 rows tall right now. So I decided I'm going to extend it by 4 more rows, which should give me enough extra oomph for a king size spread. Again, just kind of lay over the top and cover the 2 of us, which is all I want. And do the 7 rows. So I have a 4x7 chunk I'm adding on, so 28 squares. So I set up my squares for the Advent, and if you followed me on Instagram, you saw that I laid them all out, and I wrapped them all up, and I numbered them. So they're sort of surprised, but not, because I don't like having like similar colors next to each other. So I made sure, you know, like I have like, I mean, those 2 are kind of similar, because I'm not super picky, but you know, I made sure there wasn't like a red one here. And I made sure there wasn't a pink one here, you know, next to the pink, you know, so I just kind of laid them out to kind of make them a little more varied. I mean, it took me like 5 minutes. I didn't like painstakingly decide like colors, but I just made sure like I didn't have a pooling of color in certain spots. So, also everything has been living in my basket, so this is really nice. This is my Rhinebeck basket, so I've had all my projects sitting in my basket so I can pick and choose and pull them out as needed. All my patterns, and I have all my garbage in here still. The things, but all my little extras, scraps. But, so yeah. So, and I'm working on this blanket with the mitered square blanket pattern by Knitting Suna is her website. Don't know her name, but again, it's on my Ravelry page. But this is the pattern's free, so I printed out the pattern. It's just on a blog, just to remind me what I do. So my square is 41 inches, and yeah, this pattern just knits 3 together in the center, so that's my center. My double decrease is just a knit 3 together, super easy. And I am using size 2s, and I'm finally using circulars. I've been using ever since, until I started these 3, I've been using double points, which is a pain in the butt to do double points on these small squares, because, I mean, just because that, like, I've had the stitches fall off the other side on more than one occasion. So now finally I'm using double points because I have them, or circular, because I have it in size 2, which I did not previously. But that's part of my Child twist set, so yeah. And last finished object that I don't have, but I will put in a picture, is the Deck the Balls by Sonia Roots. Made 2 ornaments, same yarn. I can show you the yarn. So, still got a bunch left. And this was used in, boy, what was this used for? This used in my fade. I think this was used in my fade. I had a chunk left of that. Oh, and I made a pair of Rose City rollers out of these. So, I made 2 ornaments for the teachers. I don't know, I'm planning to make more because I almost want to give them a choice of like, which one do you want? But I made 2 out of those. I will put a picture in since I don't have them. But yeah, so those are all my finished objects. So that's a lot. I have a sweater, 2 pairs of mittens, ornaments, a hat, a blanket, and blanket squares. My blanket square is sort of finished, but so that's my finished objects. So my work in progress is also my scrap yarn blanket. Still working on that. Work in progress forever. Also the ornaments. I plan on making some more. I don't know how many more. I have a ton more. I have a whole. I didn't realize, I bought this box, I didn't realize, here's what the ornaments look like. So I have a whole other box of these, and I did 2. So I didn't realize I had a whole box, or else I would have bought another box, but that's okay. I don't mind having extra. And then I got some work done on my flax. So my flax sweater by Tin Can Knits. I am knitting it out of Knit Picks Rabbit worsted, which is the acrylic worsted in the hunter green. And last I showed off the progress, I was at that little stitch marker there, so I've made a couple inches. So I'm just plugging away on the body. Ideally, I'd like to get this done before Christmas, but I'm probably not. But I might, you never know. I don't really have anything else I'm working on besides my blanket and the ornaments, which are all very quick projects, so I might if I get to it. So yeah, I'll move my little stitch marker and we'll see where I am next time. And these are size 7 and 8. Okay, size 8s. Chow Goose. And I'm almost done with this ball. So, and yep, that's living in my basket here too. My little notions here. So yeah, everything kind of fits nicely in my basket. Let's go over here. Okay, so on to stash, and I will post pictures of this as well because, sorry. Once again, I need to get a chair because I sit on my feet too long and then my feet go numb. So, oh, last thing, I guess. Spinning, I haven't done anything. I've just been too busy doing the holiday knits and everything. So, but in another DIY craft that I did just before I started recording, I did this because where was that? Oh, I was looking at patterns that were done with this Jazz Couture because I saved one skein. I could have added it to the blanket, but I saved one. Like maybe I'll make like a cowl or something. So I'm kind of going through the Ravelry pages, and about 90% of the projects are these blankets because, you know, it's just such strange yarn. Then I stumbled on this one that was like a crochet, not really a scarf, but it was just basically crocheted a chain and then single crocheted and to make it a little thicker. So it's sort of a scarf, but then she attached 2 poms onto the end, and she said in her description, I've made 2 DIY fur poms. I'm like, oh, DIY fur poms? I didn't know you could DIY those, because, you know, I've always wanted to do something with a fur pom, but I've never bought one, and I don't know. Did not know you could DIY, and I like the DIY stuff, so I Googled it up last night, and lo and behold, DIY pom. So I made my first DIY pom, which now I need a hat for it, or I might make this weird little thing that I saw on Ravelry. So I haven't decided yet, but actually this would go well with the purple. So maybe I'll make another one of these and do, because it was like a pom on each end, and it was kind of like a, I really don't know what to call it. It's not a scarf. It's not really a scarf, but sorta, I guess. But it was basically, you know, she had it looped around and you had 2 poms hanging down, so it was kind of just a decorative statement piece. But I also could do a hat because I can wear hats now. My hair is getting long enough that I don't look like I'm bald. Because anytime I'd wear a standard, like, say, the Challenger hat there, anytime I'd wear a hat like that, not that I can't wear a slouchy hat with the pom too, but I kind of want like a regular hat with a pom on it, maybe, I don't know. But I can actually wear like a regular hat now, and my hair kind of floops out underneath, so it doesn't look like I have no hair, because anytime I'd put on a beanie with super short hair, looked like I had no hair. Because, you know, I'd always have to make sure my bang was out and sloosh it back, which I like that look too, but that doesn't really keep my ears warm, and it's not really functional. It's not functional. So anyways, so this was my project, DIY pom. And I will post the link to the tutorial I used in my show notes. Okay, so stash. I forgot to talk about last week. I purchased the worsted sock arms sweater pattern on Ravelry by Stephanie Lotvin. Really cool looking pattern. However, I did not realize until after I purchased the pattern, it was on sale. It was like half off or something. So it was, you know, that's why it was kind of an impulse purchase. So, but after I purchased it, I realized she had a fingering weight version, which I would have rather had, because finding self-striping, so basically, I don't put a picture of the pattern, but basically the sleeves are self-striping yarn, and then you have a solid variegated body. Of course you can do whatever you want, but I like the concept of the stripy sleeves with the plain body. It's just a cool looking, it's a cool look, I like it. But finding self-striping worsted yarn is not really a simple task, and of course it is partnered with Mustache Yarns for this kit that is a little out of my budget. A lot out of my budget for a sweater. Like you see, I make Karen Symphony Soft worsted sweaters, and I make Knit Picks acrylic sweaters. So, you know, to spend like $100 on a sweater, and for me, it's sizing is tricky because I'm tall, so I have a longer torso, I have longer arms, but I'm thin. So, you know, the quantity of yarn is always like, do I purchase for a medium but knit the small? Because, you know, usually when I take my bust measurements and whatever, I'm usually within the small, maybe a medium, depending on the pattern. But then I need more yarn that it's called for, because I'm like, for the seclude, it said the knit to like 14 inches. I knit to 19 before I ribbed, and same with the arms. It's like, you know, knit for so many inches, and I was like, okay, well, I had to add a good 2 or 3 inches, so that's more yarn. So, yeah, so I'm hesitant to even purchase a kit anyways for that reason. So, but if it was the fingering version, of course I can get cheap striped fingering. There's so many, you know, it's just so much more to choose from. I could use Felici, you know, whatever. So yeah, but I bought the worsted and pattern, and I just now am on a mission to find fairly inexpensive worsted self-striping, which I checked on webs, and there seem to be a few options. So after the new year, maybe if I get any Christmas money or anything, I'll look for that. I also purchased, or I got for free, this one was a freebie, but it is a paid for pattern, but I got it for, it was like one of those things, okay, pick one of our patterns for free, use this code. It's The Whistler by Veronica Job, and it is through the yarn, with a yoff, with yarn on the house. You'll see it when I post the picture of the pattern. But this is like a tunic, worsted tunic dress. It's listed as a dress, but it looks more like a tunic. But oh, it looks super pretty. I haven't really looked at the pattern to see if it's easy to make, but it looks really cool. Yeah, I bet you I could snag some sweater quantity of Knit Picks something or other and knit that up. So maybe next year I'll try to do that. I would love to knit more like tunic length items, again, because I like to wear leggings and it's nice to have the longer sweaters. So, but that was a nice freebie, so that was pretty cool. And then today, since I'm talking about my fur poms, I purchased, this is what I use to make them. So this is some just faux fur, and it's basically just a rectangle. Fab Lab Craft. This was at Joann's. So I picked up the white one, which is what I made the pom out of today, and then the pink one, and then the black one, and these are the long furry. And then one of the tutorials I stumbled on, I don't remember, there was a couple of them. Had like, one of them was like, use the long furry stuff. Well, one other one made one out of like the just short fur, and it looked pretty cute. So I have a feeling it'd be a little bit trickier to make sure it looks, you know, rounded and stuff. But basically, you're cutting a circle and you're cinching it up and putting some fiber fill in the middle. So let's see if we kind of just kind of like that. So it'd make a cool little pom. You're just gonna kind of make sure it stays straight looking. But I don't know what kind of, super soft. This one's like really soft. But they had like full bolts of all this like hot pink. Oh, they had a remnant there too. They had a remnant. It was like almost a full yard of the hot pink. It would have been, so that was, I don't know, it was like listed at like $20 or something, and it was half off, so it would have been like $10. So it's like, I don't really need, like, I mean, like, this is literally like probably like quarter of a yard maybe. Let's see, I mean, not even, it's probably like an eighth of a yard or something. It's like such a little amount, and I could get like 4 poms out of here. So like, I don't need 50 pink poms, a bright pink. I mean, we're talking like hot pink. So I was like this close to picking that up, but I didn't. But they do have full bolts, and I thought about getting like an eighth of a yard or a quarter of a yard of some of the colors. They had like a teal, they had the pink, they had a white that had like tinsel-y, like silver bits in it. That was really pretty. But I thought, okay, these were like $2 and something a piece. I had coupons for half off, so they were like $1. I figured I'd try these first, make them up, and see if I like them. Attach them to the hats and see if I like them. And actually, one of the tutorials mentioned getting a little brush to comb, so I might comb this one out a little bit too. But I mean, first glance, it looks fine. A little shake. Looks good. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. So yeah, so I got that. So make some more poms, and then I just need to make a bunch of hats or whatever, these scarf thingies, and be on my way. So that was my stash. Well, before I type of Life Review, I was going to talk about what I was wearing earlier, but this is the Fireplace Embers shawl by Debbie Hostos of the Never Cast Off podcast. This was made in Decadent Fibers, Pull Taffy or something. I don't know, all the information is on Ravelry, so look for Fireplace Embers. But this is the yarn's a little itchy, to be honest. It's a DK shawl, but the shawl, I love the pattern though, but it's got these different sections. So we got like the yarn over section, then we got like a drop stitch section, stockinette. So all these varying like drop stitches, drop stitch sections, yarn over sections. But it's super pretty, and actually I like the way it turned out in the yarn, but yeah, the yarn is a little scratchy, so I don't know if I need to try the soak it in conditioner like I was going to do with my sweaters. Try it one more time. I mean, I blocked it, but maybe I just need to soak it longer, I don't know. So, or maybe just some yarn is going to be scratchy, but it doesn't bother me too much. I kind of itch here and there, but I can wear itchy things, so it's not a big deal. That is what I'm wearing. So Life in Review, let's see. I forgot to mention that when I recorded last week, David had lost his first tooth. for real, his real first tooth. So if you are a long time follower, you will know that David broke a tooth like a couple years ago. I think I was podcasting. I'm pretty sure I was podcasting at that point. And yeah, it was pretty freaky. His big old front tooth. So he's been missing his front tooth for years. So, you know, for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years it's been. So finally, he's in first grade. He's finally lost one of his actually lost tooth. So his little bottom one. And so the tooth fairy came, brought him a book and some, a little couple dollars, and he was excited. Well, so, and what happened was I dropped him off at this Lego club thing he was in, and I dropped him off, and I had Emily, and I was walking around with Emily, and I came back in for something, or no, I went out to the car to we finished eating our dinner. It was kind of one of those mad chaos days, and I came back in, and all of a sudden David's sitting at the table, and he's got like stuff in his mouth, and they're like, he lost a tooth. So I didn't even know it was loose. Like, I had been checking like every so often. Apparently he ate something, it felt funny, and he just pulled it out. I didn't even have to pull it out. I think I've had to pull every single one of Emily's out, so he pulled it out himself. So yeah, that was exciting. And other things for David is we did so he has this Lego club, and it's the first, what is it called? First Lego League Junior. So there's a company, first company, and they have the Lego League, which is for the older elementary kids, and then they have the Lego League Junior, which is for it's like kindergarten through kindergarten through third, I think. And it's like a mini robotics thing. So they have this kit, and they have a specific project that they need to do. So there was 5 of them in this club, and it was Mission Moon, and so they had to build like a space station out of Legos, and then they had to build a rocket and then they had this like little programmable robot thing that then had to like get their supplies, which were these little just Lego capsules, from their rocket to their space station. So they had to come up with a little idea of how to program this little rocket, or program this little robot thing to pretty much move this little crank on their rocket that then shot the little food pellets out, or whatever, supply pellets, into their space station. That was pretty much the gist. And they had to make a 3-panel poster board and do this whole thing. Well, they had an expo at a college this weekend, so we all went there, and yeah, it was long, a lot of standing around because they had judges coming around to all the groups, and I mean, it was primarily for the bigger kids because the Lego League they had a lot more involved project. So the little kids this one was pretty basic, but it was a good experience, and all the little teams, I don't know if all the Lego, like the advanced teams, all got medals, but all the little kids got medals. So I'm on the fence about how that is, you know, like I didn't expect him to get a medal. I just thought, you know, they had a ceremony. I thought, you know, they'd pick the best team and be done with it. But all the teams got medals, which was kind of a nice experience for the little kids, because David's never won anything before, so he got a medal for that, and their team won like most innovative poster, so pretty much they had the best poster display. But I think, like I said, I think they were generating like awards for every team, so I don't know how I feel about that, but it was cute. I don't think David would have cared either way, but it's nice for him to bring home a medal. So and then the next day we put up our Christmas decorations, so we have all our Christmas stuff up. We still have to finish putting our ornaments up on the tree, because kids and ornaments just, I don't know, we let them put up a few. We did, like, you know, we unwrapped a handful of them, but boy, it's like they put one on and then it would fall off, and then they put another one on and then that other one would fall off, and it's like they just didn't get the concept of it. You gotta put it on like in the tree. You don't like stick it right on the edge. So after like ornaments continually falling off the tree, we were like, okay, we're good, let's go watch a Christmas movie. So we showed them Elf, which it was cute. I mean, I've seen it before, and I don't know, it's so cheesy, but it was cute and they loved it, so that was fun. And that's it. So I gotta finish putting, with the coming of our Christmas tree also comes the Elf on the Shelf, so now we're in the midst of Elf on the Shelf fun. Yay. So Gotta remember to remember that the elf is watching. So yeah, okay, so that was it. That was my weekend review. So low-key this week, we have holiday shop tomorrow at school, which the kids get to go through this little shop at school and buy a bunch of crap for each other and for us. You know, it's like literally all these weird trinkets and stuff, so that's fun. And this weekend, it's I think my mom might be coming over, and that's about it. So hopefully I'll get some more work done on my sweater, get some ornaments done, and have some things to show you next week. So I will see you all when I see you, and I hope you all have a good week, and I hope you get to craft all the things. Bye.